I think it's a great experience to get culture and other, worldly experiences outside of the Furman bubble.
The experience and, like, depending on where you go, if you know the language, it would be good for you to...
Most people won't have the opportunity to be able to live in another country for 3 or 4 months of their life again.
Yeah, definitely, because anyone can go to college. You can go to a state college, you can go anywhere, but if you study abroad, it's an experience that other people don't typically get. It's something different.
I think it does. I think it gives something that you can't learn inside of a classroom, and being able to experience a different culture, a different lifestyle than you would at Furman.
Definitely, I think it definitely does. Being able to experience another culture and other places and kind of being able to get out of the Furman bubble for a couple of months, I think, would do everyone here some good.
It was interesting to actually be in the real world environment in Europe. Like, I had to learn to take the buses on my own and figure out my transportation schedule. And so it was just really, it was a huge learning experience. Not even, it was really cool to be learning outside of the classroom too, and just in a social setting, and to compare that to my usual, typical day at Furman.
Well, definitely meeting a new culture, but also I had a great homestay, and I still keep in touch with them really a lot, and I'll probably go and live with them for a little bit longer, maybe next year.
The best part was all the travel, and it was exhausting, but that was probably the best part about it. It was really like a new city every week.
Again, even though that was wonderful to learn about being in a different environment and getting around in the daily environment, it was also really stressful sometimes. I mean, the buses were not always that reliable, and talking to people was really difficult because I didn't speak any French. I'm now taking French. So that was really frustrating to me. The bus broke down one time and I wasn't able to figure out what was going on. I just saw people getting off and I had no clue what to do. But, it was, again, that was all part of the learning experience. It was really stressful and challenging, but again, it was cool. It was definitely, I learned a lot more about myself in learning that I could actually make it through those things.
Okay. I would say the cuisine was actually pretty bad. I stayed with the homestay, so they would get kind of offended if we didn't finish our meal.
So it took 42 hours to get back, I think. So yeah, that was definitely the most tedious part of the trip because I was so tired at that point.
I think being on the road so much is as great as it is, and as beneficial as it is, it's also probably the most tedious because we lived out of a suitcase.
Well, it was really helpful for me as a Spanish major.
I don't think that it's necessary that you need to be with your specific major department when you go abroad because, for example, when I was abroad, it was a bunch of poli-sci majors, a couple business majors, communications. People were really all over the spectrum, and they all really got something out of it. I went the fall term of my junior year, and I thought that was the perfect time for me because I still had a couple years under my belt where I had gotten used to the college atmosphere and the college workload, and then I was able to go and really enjoy it and feel like I was well prepared for it, and then come back and still be able to apply that to what I'm doing. I had plenty of time to still use what I learned abroad.
I would definitely say junior year. For me, it was easy fall term.
I feel like they know more about you, so that they're more invested in making sure that it's beneficial for you.
Right, well, Furman was really great because I had a built-in set of friends. It was all inclusive, all of my meals were paid for, we had different excursions to all around Spain. So
Is that like it's more structured and there's more options that like they have set in stone instead of like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna research by myself right now, like what's out there. Like I just feel like that's really overwhelming, and you get a chance to like get to know people from Furman better. So
it might be cool to do one like in Africa and maybe combine it as a mission project. It would be really interesting to see something like that.
The study abroad office has really grown by leaps and bounds over the past few years. It used to be that the trips were all just kind of planned individually by the professors, and now that there's an actual study abroad office that's run by, I think, Dr. Conke. He kind of oversees all the trips and makes sure that they're all kind of planned out, and that there's a variety for all types of students.
Definitely do it if you can. That's the bottom line.
It's a great program, and I had a really good time.
it's great. Love it. Want to do it again.
I learned a lot, like academically, but I learned a lot about myself too.
it was a really easy experience. They handled a lot of the logistics. I would do it again, and I'm planning on teaching English in Madrid next year as well, so clearly it had quite an effect on me.